It worked.
Hey, what's going on, Sean?
Sean again. What's up, buddy?
My man.
Good to be here, guys. Once again.
He
Glad to
says,
have
you
you.
got to have me back. Have me back. Have me back.
I demanded it, so I'm here.
He's here to talk to us about some
There's
cool
no-
stuff today.
Behind the scenes, I'm already here.
Yeah, we didn't
right.
even
That's
like
right.
do a drum roll or nothing. You just, hey, roll credits. Let's go.
I changed rooms as well. No guitar or anything. We're here in the.
It saddens me not to see the guitar, but we're gonna move on with it.
Yep, it looks like you're in the bathroom on the throne, I think.
Yep.
But-
I'm out of toilet paper. You know how uncomfortable those moments are when you run out of toilet paper by yourself and there's no one else to grab it for you. I'm sure you guys have all had that moment at least once.
Turn the shower on.
Never.
Get your shower going.
No, the shower, that's something that they do in India. They don't have toilet paper, so they just jump in there and, there's actually a jet that they have on every toilet in India. The nicer homes where you sit on the toilet and the jet just like does it for you. No toilet paper.
Sean, what is the little water pot thingy? The
water pot? Well, are you talking about like what they sit on or
No. It's like a plant waterer almost that they leave in the bathroom by the toilet.
Oh.
Is that for the butt crack? Or?
Yeah, that might be something that the lower
That's the shower.
The higher income families have like a jet spray that's like shoots up your ass like that. So when you're done, like that shit is dripping everywhere.
I did encounter that in Hawaii.
Cooking.
Yeah,
there you go.
I did encounter that in Hawaii. The hotel we stayed at had those bidets, and man, I'm talking about like lukewarm. It had to be like 96 degrees, maybe. It's pretty nice, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I like.
And welcome to the Crucible podcast. Apparently, we're talking about toilets.
Oh yeah, that's what we're here to talk about: precious metals and toilets.
Hey, that's never been done. We can do that.
We hit the spot. Uneveness.
Sean, I've been meaning to ask you, man, because we go back and forth. We talk a lot. And I know that you move a crap ton of product. By virtue of that, you have a huge clientele, right? Like a lot of people you deal with on a regular basis. You must encounter some pain in the butt, headache type customers. Where do you draw the line? And maybe share some stories with us. But like, where do you draw the line at? I'm just not going to work with this person anymore.
Well, I'm always trying to keep my customer as long as possible, and the lifeline of a customer. It takes a long time to acquire each customer and to have them come back and consistently buy products from you every time. So killing a customer right there and then just like getting rid of them is an almost never. I try not to do it. They have to really cross the boundaries of what I feel is ethically just not right for a customer to do to the dealer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, it's only happened maybe 10 times. I've been doing this 10 years, and I want to say I can count on my fingers the number of guys that I've just said, "You're gone, bitch."
Yeah, right.
I don't like doing it. I love everybody. I try to be really kind to everybody and give them good service, but sometimes those customers just throw it right back at you, like they're throwing crap right at your face. And recently I dealt with it today with another dealer, and this is a dealer, mind you, and this is not a customer that you would just randomly meet on Facebook or Instagram. This is a dealer I've done 5 years of business with.
Uh-huh.
And it seems like every single time he calls me, there's something wrong with what I've either shipped him or the product is not to his satisfaction. In this particular case, I gave him an extra coin, and he was complaining that I gave him an extra coin, and yeah, I mean, he was honest, and we rang it up and he paid me. But there was, another thing where I sent him the wrong picture off the back of a coin by mistake. And he already sold that coin to his customers. And,
okay.
And while back, where the picture was right originally that he sold, but he was trying to remember when he bought it. So I sent him a picture this week, and I sent him the wrong back, and it was a buffalo gilded coin, and the coin was supposed to be a round, right? And basically I sent him the back of a picture of a coin that had a Nui back.
Okay.
was on there, and so he thought the buffalo was a coin,
Hmm.
and so he basically misinterpreted it and freaked out, and started PMing me on Facebook, on Instagram, on email, and hammering every single contact until I replied, until I answered him and fixed it. And I was just like, dude, I just sent the wrong picture. It's not that big of a deal. And so, little things like that obviously get to us. We try not to let it get to us, but it's like every single time I ship this guy something, there's always seems to be an issue. And
now, just so this is me just diving a little deeper into this, but have you ever had a conversation with him and just kind of asked him to chill a little bit and work with you and just relax, I'll make it right, or something like that?
Today, like, I'm going to make it right no matter what. And you know that. And he was like, yeah, that. And sometimes people, even myself, I can be blamed to overreact and say things in anger, that I don't mean. But in this particular case, it's every single time. And, eventually it just draws the line. Like you said, you might have to get rid of them or cut business with them. And, it could be thousands of dollars that you're losing doing that,
Of course.
Yeah.
Each part of our income stream, especially on the dealer end, if we're just like axing dealers, something I don't ever want to do, because it's almost impossible to cut off a dealer, but have I done it yet? I have, and I've been cut off by dealers, so I know it's possible. There's
Right.
people in the dealer community as well that you have to evaluate. Is it really worth it to keep them on forever? And
Right.
in this particular case, I think it's still okay, but that guy, he's on the thin cutting board. There's like one more or two more incidents that I can handle for my sanity. So
Yeah, I hear you.
That's a big one, man. The sanity factor. It's kind of a big
it is.
deal.
We all want a peace of mind, and we all want to sleep without having to worry about shit before we sleep, And
Right.
that's like most of the time I sleep well and I don't have to worry about things. But I think I've complained to you guys about this multiple times now, and it's obviously an issue. So,
Well, I mean, you got to think of it like this. Like, let's say, and I don't know how many customers you have, but let's say in a month's time you have 150 to 200 customers, right? Different people.
Sure.
And maybe 95% of them are like Pauly, who pay you up front. Like not like me, that I like always ask for an extension, but like Pauly, he pays you up front, like ahead of time, and never really an issue.
Right.
And if there is one, he goes about it the right way and talks to you about it.
Right.
But what if you had 99% of your customers that were all like this one dealer?
And then you would
Like,
have to evaluate, like, am I even in the right business? Like,
Yeah.
you'd go
Right.
crazy. I mean,
should I do this for the rest
You
of my
would, yeah, you'd have to go completely crazy or just close up shop.
you
And
wouldn't
have
have
to.
the bandwidth to
have
handle that.
time where, like, our business, like we've talked on the last episode about, is high stress. There's a lot of things going on. It's customer service all day long. So, I try to maximize my time with each customer. I try not to spend like more than 5 minutes per customer, or 10 minutes, because you want to work through like hundreds of customers or thousands in a week, right? So you can't spend like an hour on one customer. That would be crazy, And so that's kind of where I'm at, is like the time versus money issue. Like, you don't want to spend too long with one person trying to resolve things. And if they've crossed that time issue where like they're taking an hour or 2 hours of our time when we could be dealing with 20 to 50 customers in that time frame, there's obviously something wrong there. So
Yeah.
And I mean, you mentioned Pauly. We did have a little issue this week. I shipped him something and something was missing. And how long did that resolution take? Like 1 minute? Maybe?
Oh yeah, just a couple minutes. Just a couple minutes. It was, well, I sent you the picture. I said, yeah, I know. You sent me the picture. I said, me and Emil just opened that thing up on
Right.
our last show, and I kind of just hesitated a minute. I was like, well, I'm not going to say nothing here, but yeah, there was a couple things missing. Sent you the picture of what it was, and you're like, yep, here it is, laying right here on the desk. Whoops, it happens. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, we had a little flood in our house, and I brought some of my packing home to do some of my packing, and that particular item just got misplaced somewhere, and during the flood, gone. And I found it that a week later, and I'm like, Pauly, I found your item. It's going out in your next box.
Yeah, that's good.
Easy fix.
Yeah,
most things are easy, and some people take the fix and overreact, and they're just like, okay, this is a customer service issue that can be easily resolved. But sometimes they really get angry, and they just waste my time for a good hour or two complaining about it, or
And I could see where somebody might,
Right.
I guess, have an issue if, let's just say, they were shopping through you, but then in return trying to pre-sale that item they're shopping through you, and something got mixed up or mishandled, and now they're just like, well, what am I supposed to do? I told them I was going to have it delivered this time. That's where, if people aren't careful, their pre-sales can go haywire real quick. I mean, like the pre-sale coming from a wholesaler, and then now you're offering it to somebody else, that can get messy real quick.
Certain where I'll say that like are almost impossible to resolve, and I'll give you a few examples. Like, if I'm selling a guy something and the mintage is like 100 or 50 or something like that, and then I don't order enough to supply it to a customer or something like that, and I can't replace it. Like, there's irreplaceable. Everyone thinks that everything can be replaced, but that's actually not true.
Sure.
Everything cannot be replaced because there's certain coins that are so rare that there's not very many of them out there to just go on eBay and buy it to fix your shortage or whatever. So I want to say 99% of things can be fixed and replaced really quickly, but there are certain things that are sold that are low mintage that if I were to sell it, 3 or 4 months ago, it might be $100 or $200 item, and then by the time the person is asking for it, then it's a $1,000 item. 3 to 4,
Sure.
because it's gone up in value and it's sold out everywhere else. There are certain things that are impossible to replace. So we're very careful to order exactly the amount that we need for our customers. And if we oversell, then we do an allocation, and we just make sure that, the allocation, we tell our customers, you're not going to be able to get this item because it oversold. So if you overcommit to people and you can't deliver, that's always a scary thing as well. So
I bet. Yeah.
And we kind of see that with those boxes that New Zealand Mint does, the DC box, the Marvel box, and that stuff. Like you can only get so many, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we did have that is actually an example of a shortage where I had to eat, like, I want to say, I was making initially like $50 to $100 a box or whatever on the wholesale level, and then when I ran out of my wholesale stock, I had to order retail, which was about 450 to 500
Yeah.
to a guy at 500, and I basically lost like 50 or $100 replacing it, because I had to sell that to a wholesaler rather than the retail profit. And so I did lose a few $100 there trying to replace something. And it happens, like, none of us are perfect as far as ordering exactly what we need. And sometimes we oversell or our spreadsheets are off. But that's a really shitty thing that happens, right? When you have an item that is so popular that you just can't get enough of them to supply your customers. And we do our best, but these mints are like NC Mint for those sets, for example, they really focused on selling those to their retail customers, and they didn't really want to spread that to the dealers as much as far as wholesaling it, for obvious reasons, because they knew that it was going to sell out on the mint and they make a little bit more profit there. But I'm thinking that, I think we've discussed this, that the NZ Mint thing has a lifeline, and that these mystery boxes might be entering that end of excitement.
Oh yeah.
Where everybody's,
Sure. I think Emil and I talked about it. I mean, what's left they could possibly do that's licensable, that's
right,
a big enough name to
right,
sell out something that quick for that amount of money.
I think
Right.
there's some Disney franchises that are left. They do the Disney movies. That could be a possible one. And
But at that point, are they milking it at that point?
For sure. I feel like DC is milking it.
DC,
Sure. I mean, you did Star Wars, you did Marvel, you did DC. I mean,
I was talking about DC in general, is that, every single person that knows the DC franchise, the general public, they only know of like 5 to 10 characters. Like,
right.
if you go outside of those 5 to 10 characters, can you really name exactly some of those weird DC Comics characters, like recognizable? Like, I can.
Nope.
I can only tell you Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, and then
Flash.
I'm starting to lose my train of thought here. I don't even know what else is next, right? So that's to me why the DC one didn't do as well, because the characters that are obscure or tougher to remember, only the hardcore comic book fans really care about those. Unlike Marvel and Star Wars, which is a much bigger franchise, and I think those are a little bit more well known.
Right.
Even Marvel, like, I'm not an expert on Marvel, but I know my X-Men characters. I know my main Marvel Avengers characters. But then when you get into some of those obscure ones, you could ask me 100 times and I don't know the name of people. I am a big Star Wars guy myself, and I know I want to say 90% of the Star Wars characters and names, but there's definitely some people out there that don't have a good memory for all the characters in that franchise as well. So
Yeah, I feel like if they had maybe stretched out the time in between them, because they kind of came out back to back,
right,
but if they would have done them like one per year, I think it would have built up a lot more hype towards the next one. But
definitely.
when you see these mints that they start like cranking them out really quickly, you can almost get the sense that this is really it's a money grab. They're
From
trying
what
to
I've heard, the next one is not coming out till August, so maybe they are taking that into consideration, and they're not going to milk it as
yeah,
hard. I thought they were like having a set come out next month or whatever, which would be too early. I think you have to let that
agreed,
down a little bit. So.
agreed. Yeah.
But I am happy with what NZ has been putting out recently. Like yeah, they're kind of retreads where you got the Death Star 100 gram and 300 gram, but those are pretty cool pieces overall.
Big.
They seem to be doing better and holding their value and selling out, and that has to do with the ownership. Is that NZ got bought out by a new company in New Zealand, and they kind of changed things the way that they're done. So you see the mintages are, getting smaller. You're getting 100 or 200 mintage coins in there. You're getting those pieces like this next month. There's a Transformers piece that's 5 ounce. That's a 200 mintage. And then you see those Star Wars movies posters. The 5 ounces are also 200 mintage. And so the sellouts are getting quicker and quicker. And they're trying to do real collectibles and real long-term value out of some of these items, which is a good thing, I think, for the higher end collectible market, because you don't want to have thousands of products out there that are easily to access that'll never equal a sellout, I think. And so I'm happy about that, at least that NZ Mint seems to be turning the page and not just doing chibis.
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, the chibis.
They've
That
learned
was
from, I think, a little bit, and they know they're heading in the right direction now, I would say. So.
Sorry, go ahead. You do it.
Just while it's fresh on my mind, we're talking about the New Zealand mint, but can we flip to like the Perth mint, right? Talk
Yeah.
to me if you know anything about the Perth mints, God series, and LPM, and the latest release they just did with this Apollo,
Yes.
and why we're not seeing the antiqued or the 5 ounce BU versions with that coin, because everyone prior we've seen it, but so far we've only seen the gold version and the 1 ounce BU version, and it's got some people upset.
Was a very upsetting thing for some collectors, because the antique was really the one that everybody wanted. The antique 1 ounce and 5 ounce. Those were like, first of all, they were the nicest looking, because when you put antique on those coins, they look,
The detail comes right off. I mean, anything. It's
they
just
look
yeah.
so antiqued. And I think, it all comes down to like the resale value on them. Like, I resold the Aphrodite and those Athena coins on eBay. But then when I got to like the 5 ounce Aphrodite, which was a 50 mintage coin, I still have the 4 that I got from LPM, and I tried putting it on eBay and I couldn't sell them. And so I talked to the LPM head of operations, and she told me why they're not making the 5 ounce BU, the 5 ounce antiqued, and the 1 ounce antiqued on the Apollo. And it really comes down to the resell ability of those coins, and that they're not doing as well, which makes kind of sense later in the series.
Sure.
Anything later in any series is tougher to sell. The first few coins always do very well. And we can actually go to another coin in comparison, is that new pirate coin from Perth as well. What was it? The Black Flag.
Henry, yeah, it's something Henry.
Yeah, the new Black Flag coin basically had the same kind of issue. If you look on AppMax, it's not sold out. Every single time that coin
It's upstairs.
it has sold out without a problem, where the pricing has increased. I think they're still selling it at the same price that they put it out for that first day. And it tells you that in general, like some of these bullion, I want to call them premium bullion coins, the ones that are in the 35 to 40 range, we'll say, rather than the 25 to 30 cheaper bullion coins. These $35 to $40 premium bullion coins are very tough to sell right now. And so if you double that and you look at the antique ones, they're double that price.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If people aren't buying the premium bullion coins, they're really not buying the antique coins, which are the $70 range.
Right.
Because, when you look at $70 1 ounce coins, you want to have a box and COA. You want to have a nice presentation package. And that's the price point that people are used to now for that $70 range. They want to have coins that are nice and presentable and actual collectibles. And it's hard to sell an antique coin for that 60, 70 range. I think it's almost impossible in this day and age to do it. And so that's what happened, is that the price point didn't work. They couldn't resell it and sell out of their mintage. And when they have these deals with Perth where they have to buy a bunch of these coins, they have to buy the entire mintage. 1,500 is, I don't know what LPM's cost is, but let's say it's about $50 to $60 in that range, times 1,000 mintage or 1,500 mintage. That's a lot of money. They have to put down 50 grand, 100 grand just to buy that entire series. And then if you look at the 5 ounce, it's even more, right? That's
Sure.
What does the 5 ounce cost? I can't remember, like $500 or something. It's about 525 or something. I'm talking about the antique 5 ounce, the 50 minutes.
Yeah, it's got to be damn close to that. Yeah,
I had the Poseidon in 5 ounce, and I think it was 450 or 459 or something like that when it first dropped.
So some of those are just way too expensive. Like 5 ounce coins at the $500 range are just, and Perth is really about value too. If you look at Perth mint stuff, it's not expensive, and that's why people love it, because it's high quality items at a lower price point. And as soon as you get to that level where it's just not affordable, it doesn't seem that it's not, Perth is not, it's not going to sell at that level. So that's why people have kind of stopped buying it. They're still buying the $35 Perth coins. And then the colorized Perth coins that have just come out, the dragons, are the next thing that people are really buying. There's carded ones that they have, the yellow dragon Melbourne coin show, the purple dragon, which was a Berlin Berlin release, I think, is when they did the purple dragon, or one of those. And so all those colored dragons seem to be the ones that people are really going for right now, as far as interest level and FOMO, like, fear of buying those dragon coins is crazy right now. I know that you guys saw, like, this week we sold some of the upcoming ones. I can't talk about some of that embargo, but I'll just say that, like, a lot of that stuff is going to sell out next month. In March, the Perth mint releases are going to go.
Nice. They're nice stuff.
Yeah.
Remind me to talk to you about one of those dragons after we cut the camera off, because if it is under embargo, I don't want to dox you, man. But let's chat about one of them real quick, or after this show. But speaking of exclusives and these low mintage, colorized, things like that. Last time we had you on the show, you were talking about how you kind of take it under your purview to start doing this with certain coins, and there's a whole process involved in it. Can you talk to us a little bit about what's involved in making these?
Sure. And I'll just give you a little history behind it, because I haven't been doing it forever, but I want to say that I was probably one of the first Facebook sellers to experiment with colorizing some of the government issued coins. And the first one that we took under our wing was a Wonder Woman coin from the Nui series. And we colorized the Wonder Woman, and we made her have the queen on the back in the same kind of Wonder Woman outfit that Wonder Woman has, in the same colorization on her hair. And we made the queen into like a superhero as well. It's a pretty memorable coin. But I did that with a guy named Joseph Stainlam, who's another dealer. And we kind of put our heads together, and we came up with a way to colorize coins and market them for a little bit more. The cost on the Nui coin was about $30 at the time, $35, and we sent it to a European company to get the colorization done, and they basically charged around $30 as well. So it ended up costing us around like $60, 60 to 70 range with the packaging. And the time frame is really what takes a long time, because you come up with that design and you want to you want it to be a really nice and memorable design. And so what we do is we email the company back and forth, and we give them pictures of what we were looking for, and eventually you come to an idea that really works, and we confirm it. And that's about a 1 month design process. After the design, it gets sent into production to colorization, which is about a month. And so you have a product in about 2 months ready to colorize, and you can market it and you can pre-sell it. and it's a pretty good profit. I mean, we make, more than we make on Bullion, 10, 15, 20% sometimes on some of these colorized issues, which is a lot better than making 5% on the Bullion or whatever. And so we're really happy with the way that these colorized coins have worked out. And right now we're doing Libertads because Libertads are just so popular here in the United States. Everyone seems to love their Libertads, right? And
Oh yeah.
what better thing to have than a Libertad that's colorized and themed and looks completely different than anything out there. And I want to say that Emil has helped and approved a lot of these designs, and we've worked back and forth.
Emil, you did. You've been
He's
sneaking around on me.
Oh
he,
yeah.
behind the Emil is a graphics artist consultant for me.
And I thought you just messed with eggs. I thought you were just coloring eggs.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
he knows what's going on. I trust his opinion, and we'll go back.
Sure.
We'll go back and forth on certain designs, and he'll tell me straight up if it's just garbage or if it's something that's some adjustments. And we've come up with some good ones. I'll have him put some of them on the screen here to show you what we've started with. And this is the Aztec Eclipse Libertad, and this is actually the that knocked it out of the park. It has a mintage of 180 coins, and we got 1,100 requests for these from dealers.
Wow.
About 10 times the mintage, and we couldn't obviously fill all those orders. There's only 180 made, so we had to cut, I want to say, about 1,000 orders right off the top of people who wanted these. But yeah, they go for a lot of money. Like on eBay, I think the peak was about $250 to $300 when these got to the eBay market, and we started selling them at around $80, which is that's about the colorized price point right now for these Libertads is around $80 is what we try to stay around. 80 to 90. Some other sellers are selling it at, and I mean, they're coming out awesome. Look at that. It's just a black Libertad. Got the pyramids in the back, the Aztec pyramids. The front has the eclipse. It's called an Aztec eclipse. So you got the blood moon eclipse on the front.
Okay.
Back you have the solar eclipse. So you have the lunar eclipse on the front, the red, and you have the solar eclipse on the back. And I know eclipses are a big part of the Aztec and Mayan culture. They look at that as an omen, for the coming times, and it's a big thing to that culture. So that's what.
I think there's a solar eclipse coming next month, right? Like the 8th or something like that. So,
something. I don't know if it's a complete eclipse or total eclipse. It might be a partial.
Yeah, I think it depends where you stand.
Right.
So they do the packaging and everything as well.
Yeah. So the first part of the design is the coin, and you get a back designed, and you tell them what you're looking for, and they kind of shoot back different estimates of what they think you would like, and we put it out, and we've seen that this particular coin took a few design changes. Initially we had something on the back that was more like I want to say like a Northern Lights kind of color going in the back, and then we decided to make it into a more of eclipse look, and it came out awesome. Everybody loves this.
That looks great. It does.
And that black is ruthenium, is that right?
Yes. The black Libertad portion of this coin is a black ruthenium finish, and the rest of it is just colorizing. And I think there might be some gold gilding on the back where you see the
little glyphs.
Yeah, the Estados Unidos Mexicanos. That
okay,
all right.
The coin has some gilding on it as well. So
very cool. The next one was something more like a fantasy coin.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool. It started off as a blue angel, but we noticed that it had some likeness to some of those
Avatar.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And so we basically went with that theme, and we gave her a bow and arrow. It's a big part of the Avatar culture. And then she has a spear as well. We gave her a tribal dress in the bottom, and you see those little Avatar angels. I forgot what they're called in the movies, but those little flying little creature things. We made it in the likeness of the Pandora. We gave some Northern Light color to the sky, and we just made it very magical looking. I think it came out pretty cool. That was a fun one.
Now, did was I mistaken in hearing that somebody potentially kind of copied this bow and arrow theme?
Yes. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, is that when you put out a
Oh,
design hot and popular, you get a lot of copycat designs coming out, and I think there's a catching fire one that somebody has done recently from
Oh, that's right.
the
okay.
Hunger. So somebody has kind of taken that bow and arrow design and made it into a Hunger Games catching fire design, and whatever.
Bastards.
It's okay to
Bastards.
get influence and make your own coin on this. I think you don't have to take away from our fame or anything. or,
Right.
or it doesn't hurt the market to have different things come out, and we have another few designs coming up here pretty soon, and they're going to be. I always try to do something that hasn't been done. That's really my thing. I don't like to go ahead and just do something that's already out there. I really try to come up with my own design if possible. So this one is the Aztec history. You see the Aztec warriors on the top one, and on the bottom one, I don't know if you guys have seen that movie Apocalypta, but it's influenced by the human sacrifice right there with the Aztec and Mayan culture. They did human sacrifices, which was a very, very big part of their culture. And we've given a visual of a guy getting stabbed by the chief shaman of the Aztec culture, and they took that as a very serious thing. It's obviously not done anymore. It would be murder, but
Right.
it was acceptable back then in that culture to do sacrificing. So
Yeah, they look really good. I like that top
They
one.
do. Yeah, the blue really comes off it. I like it.
that was actually my wife's idea. She came up with a headdress. She wanted to do it like a peacock, and I think they really got that theme down where they gave it a very colorful look.
Yeah.
That's the best part about colorization, is that you can fit so much in there that can't be seen in a black and white,
Sure.
and you can't see as much detail. And then of course the packaging just looks exquisite in this one. It's got the Aztec calendar on the back, and then on the front you've got some of the ruins.
Love it. That's good.
Freaking love it too.
And the next one, this was my favorite, arguably.
Stained glass.
I thought this one looked amazing, man.
So people have said, the Libertad is obviously the forefront of that coin, is the angel, and all other versions. Most of ours, we try to make them tasteful and very family like, and in this particular one, it's a very religious, spiritual theme.
Uh-huh.
But you see the regular Libertad, and her breasts are definitely the forefront of
Sure.
most coins, and you can see her nipples and everything, and that we try to make it as tasteful and as conservative and angelic as possible on this one. I think we came across that design really well.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on that one.
And a lot of guys were saying, like, this has got to be like the most tasteful Libertad that's out there as far as covering her up, and
Yeah.
they definitely covered her up there.
I agree. I might recommend a type 2, maybe. Like
where the angel is turning into like a fallen angel, devil, or right out.
Yeah. Spring break angel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's good packaging, man. It looks good. I really like it because it really looks like something that you could see like in a church.
Yes.
It looks awesome. And it has that whole I think it's the Virgin of Guadalupe, kind of the aura that's around her.
Yes.
It looks good.
We started off with that design where we were going to have the, Virgin of Guadalupe as the forefront of this coin. And I think we kind of changed it to a white angel in the end. And I think me and Emil decided that it would look better as a plain white angel with the wings, and it would just be a better symbol of purity there. And the Lady of Guadalupe is obviously very important to the Spanish culture, and the Virgin Mary and that kind of thing. But in this particular example. We just wanted it to be all encompassing for everyone to appreciate. An angel that is just pure and white, I think came out good.
Yeah,
Agreed.
looks good. Looks
I
great.
like it. All right, so drum roll.
We're gonna do a premiere here for the next that I'm coming out with, and I think it's one of our best. I mean, it is definitely a colorful piece, and it's got a lot of detail coming out in it. But I think we really fit as much as we can possibly fit into a coin in this particular coin, because that's another thing, is that like these colorizations, you can add so many more features that are not already on the coin, and in the background or the foreground. You can do different water, underwater kind of examples, and you'll see that on this one, that we went above and beyond anything we've done before, and I think it's really stunning. So
Aha.
That's cool.
This is called the Libertad Tropics, and we've got what's called a mer angel. I didn't really even know they existed until after looking it up, but we did create a mermaid with an angelic wing feature. And the cool part about this coin is that it has, a top and bottom aspect to it.
That's what I'm kind of staring at. It's you can take it all in. It looks great.
So the angel part with the wings, obviously, you see the birds flying in the air.
Yeah.
So you see all the flying creatures on top, and then on the bottom you see all the sea life and all the turtles and Flipper, who's about to poke her in the ass.
He's getting some free.
But it looks really good, because as you're looking away from the coin, you just want to keep looking into the distance, and you can see that all that is under the water and is just not laying on the top of a coin.
Yes,
It
it's
looks
a very
really
nice perspective coin. I think that it can show not only depth, but depth perception. You can see
Yes.
from a close angle and from a back angle, and I don't think that that's really even possible on a non-colorized coin. And I think we really hit the nail here with what you can do potential wise on a colorized coin, and it's just phenomenal what they came up with. And I was sending them so many examples of what I wanted to portray in this coin, and I'm not even kidding. They came up with it in like one design. It was between Emil and I. How many different designs did I show you? Maybe like 2 designs, and we came up.
It wasn't much.
We changed the color of her fin to pink. I think it was purple before, but that's about the only change I had to come up with on this one.
You know what they kind of remind me of? You guys remember? You guys were born in the 80s, so you went to school probably around the same time I did.
Okay.
There were these stickers in the 90s that were very fantasy like, and like the folders that you could buy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember? I can't remember the brand. Maybe somebody in the chat wants to throw it in there.
If somebody in chat wants to throw it in there, go ahead. I won't remember no brands.
I remember the girls always had them, and it was the name of the designer. I don't know who, but yeah, it looked a lot like this. It was really cool looking. I'm going to throw this one up right here.
Oh,
that's the back of it. Yeah. So the back, we wanted to put some seahorses, and we wanted to give it an underwater look, just the underwater aspect in the back, which is you've got the starfish and you've got some bubbles in the
seahorse, and
it's just a nice underwater portrayal.
Even the sun coming through from the top side, shining down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
you pick it all up.
That looks good.
The lighting effect is nice on this.
Yeah.
That's another thing you can do with colorization, is you can do different lightings, and you can do shadows and that kind of thing, which you don't see.
Yeah, right.
Lisa Frank. That's the name of the brand.
The problem with colorized
Lisa Frank.
Going into just what can be done with colorized, the problem with it is that a lot of guys are doing colorization on top of coins, right? Where they don't even incorporate the actual coin that is there already, right? I don't know if you guys have seen this before, where it'll be like an American eagle with like let's just say
covered. It's
an American eagle with a gremlin on the front.
Yeah.
Taking over the eagle and Lady Liberty. And so what we do is we try and incorporate the relief of the coin, the angel's wings, and we try to really take that design and just add colorization to the background and foreground. The problem with colorization when you don't do that is that you see like those reliefs on the coin and
Right.
just random colorization. And we thought about that with this mermaid one. We're taking off the wings, right? What would happen if we just took off the wings and we just made her a mermaid by itself? And we did it, but what would happen is that you would get this Libertad coin in hand, and it would have the relief of the wings still there,
Right.
with fin on the bottom. It would just look very weird. So we incorporated the mer angel aspect, where we added
Sure.
and we still made it. Everything in the coin is still there with the relief that's featured, and it came out awesome. So that's the problem, that some guys are trying to just take anything and just spray paint it on, and I think that just doesn't look good.
Yeah, it just looks like a sticker, and then what's the point?
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, Sean, I know you have other ones coming up too, right? Like cooking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There is one that is just freaking ridiculous. You know what I'm talking about, right? And I've shared it with you, and it's just going to be, there's a few ones that are coming up that you guys are going to be very impressed by. I'll just say that.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, for the people listening, when are these ones available that
So
we just saw?
the one I just showed, the Libertad Tropics, that is going to be out. This is the world premiere. Nobody's seen it yet except for you guys.
Sure. Great.
It's going to air tomorrow. We're going to release
Okay.
it tomorrow, and that's it's going to come out, and I think it's going to sell out. I think it's pretty awesome. It's only 280 mintage.
280. All right.
Anything's ever been done anything like it before in a Libertad colorized coin or any Eagle coin. I've never seen anything quite like it, and I'm just very proud of it. It's awesome.
Yeah, so anybody who's listening or watching, definitely go in the description and look for Sean's information. Reach out to him on Instagram, Facebook, email, whatever have you, and see
You'll see a ton of
what he can do to help you out.
Yeah, you'll see myself selling it, but you'll also see a ton of dealers on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
What we do now is we market it to all the dealers that are out there, to give them an opportunity to sell these coins, and I think it helps not only sell out the coin, but it helps promote it and distribute it to different markets, because I can't handle selling to every market. I'm only one person, right? So I like to spread the wealth, and I like to give every dealer an opportunity to get these out to their customers as well. So we're building our network there, and we're really emailing out a bunch of new dealers that we added to our email list. So you'll start to see a lot of these exclusives getting promoted in different markets like YouTube and whatnot. All these different channels that we normally don't even
check my email.
So yeah, we're excited about it.
All right.
Doing custom projects for other dealers as well. If anyone's ever interested in a custom project or wants to colorize a coin, we can always get that done for you. And if you want to contact me, there's a lot of margins in it. There's a lot of profit in it. A lot of and we can help you market it too. We can help you distribute that coin to different dealers as well. So you don't have to even worry about really selling it. You could just make it, design it, and at the very end collect money for doing almost nothing except for just putting the capital up on the bullion aspect of the coin
itself. Yeah.
You have to pay for the coin itself up front, and then you pay for the ennobling factor at the very end when it's ready to ship from Europe. And so those are the only two price points that you have to pay upfront money for. But at the end, you can just collect a big paycheck and have us distribute it. And it's a good model for everybody that doesn't really want to do that much work and still make some good profit in the end. And we can help you with that if you ever want to design.
Nice.
Sounds like my kind of business. Hey, Sean, aside from that, you talk about colorization. Have you helped anybody with actually minting their own rounds?
Yes. So I don't have I don't know if you have the picture or can show it. I don't think I shared it with you, but we did another coin, which was the Dos Angeles coin, which is basically a Libertad on the front and from the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it.
On the back from the 2000s era. And so that particular coin was basically a project where we designed it from scratch, and we had a mint in the United States mint it, and they did all the design features, and they incorporated both Libertad designs into one coin, front and back. And so we can do that as well. We can help you design a custom project from scratch. If you want to get a coin made with an effigy from a country that can be done as well. And we're
Nice.
with our first actual minted coin sometime around April or May, I believe, is when we're going to have our first real country coin that we've designed from Nui or Cameroon or one of those countries. And that's going to be an exclusive that we're coming out with. But I've
Nice.
started connecting with a lot of mints around the world that people have not even heard of around here. And AppMax and Jam and all those companies haven't yet got onto these mints. A lot of them are in China, a lot of them are in Asia, in Europe, but there's smaller mints that make a lot of these different effigies on Nui and Gabon. And I think Emil has seen some of these dragons that we've been putting out on our private page. There's just some awesome coins out there that are coming out that are very low key, low mintage. People have not heard of them before, but they're going to be the next big thing, I think. Some of them are like that Apple one. I don't know if I shared that with you, but it's a copper apple, completely made of copper, painted with enamel to make it look like a real apple. And we sold for a copper piece, copper is very cheap. Obviously, we all know that copper is one of the cheapest metals out there. And I think the copper content, on 400 grams or whatever is usually, I don't know, 10, $15 or $20. I don't know what the math is, but we helped this company sell a copper apple, 400 grams, and they marketed it in the $150 range. And we sold hundreds of them, which was stunning for that particular price point on copper collectibles, which we've never done before. Silver and gold is the main format for collectible coins. You don't usually see copper coins really cross the $50 range, or
Sure.
on a copper piece is just, that's crazy. And people love them though. There's a guy that sold it on his whatnot, or his on one of his live shows, and he sold it for $200 each, and people bought 50 few seconds. So
that's wild.
Copper is shocking to me that people are paying that much for copper collectibles, but I think it all comes down to the design, and these particular apple coins were very realistic looking. They looked like a real apple. Like you would see it on a table and just take it and take a bite on it. And it's funny because there's a disclaimer on the box. It says "Do not eat."
You chip it too.
I think that people actually have, could potentially take that. Some little kid just takes it and tries to take a bite of it, and it's just a copper scratch on their tooth or chip, right? So,
you're talking about how realistic it looked, and I'm laughing because when I first saw the images pop up on my phone, the underside, there was a close up of the underside of the apple,
right?
And if you're not without context, it doesn't look like the underside of an apple. It looks like if you were holding your tongue and trying to say the word apple,
Yes.
apple.
Yes.
I think
what it looked like.
I think the scientific term is sphincter. Is that what it is?
It is a sphincter, yeah.
That's the look.
The apple's sphincter. Yeah. It was pretty funny. Back to toilets. Here we go.
Yeah. We
Full circle.
Toilets, we're ending with the toilet.
Intro, outro.
Yeah, right.
Sean, for real, it's always awesome having you on the show. I think you shed a whole lot of good light on this stuff. This is exciting.
I'm very glad to be here again, and thank you guys for having me again.
Oh yeah.
I have
always welcome.
I've watched some of your other interviews with guys, and it's going really well. You guys are doing an incredible job, so keep it up.
Seems to be. I think this is 27 or 28.
It's up there, man.
27, 28.
It's up there. But guys, if you want Sean's contact info, it's going to be down in the description below. Make sure you reach out to him for any of your precious metals and bullion needs, and don't be a dick to him when you're getting your packages. If there's a problem, just let him know. He'll help you out. You don't have to
go through it nice and easy.
Take a deep breath. Just relax. Count to 10, and then send the email.
That's right. That's right. Hey. And we're not going to go over it, but don't forget about the 5-ounce giveaway that we're doing on this channel. All that information will be in the description below as well. So get in there, hit those links, follow us, Instagram, YouTube, and the website, and we will see you all on the next one. Thanks, Sean.